I was placed at Voyager Elementary School with Renee Christensen. She got her undergrad at MSU Moorhead, and then she got her master's at MSU Mankato. This is her 5th year at Voyager, and it's her 14th year as a speech-language pathologist. And so, like, what a speech-language pathologist is, like, you can either work in the education field or the health field, and it's basically just helping them with, like, their sounds, if they need, like, specific sounds, like with their S or their THs or their Ls. And then she also works with, like, Down syndrome and autism. So what I learned is, like, the different paperwork Renee does in her testing. So for her paperwork, she listens to the kids, and if they get, like, a correct sound, they'll do a tally. But if they don't do it correctly, she'll do, like, a circle, and she just, like, gives them, like, an 80% or 100%. And then for the testing, she also does, like, autism. So she'll test to see if they're on the autism spectrum. And then I learned the difference between an SLP and an SLPA, which is the assistant, which I am probably going to do. And an SLP has, like, a lot more paperwork and testing, and she talks to, like, the parents, and, like, the assistant just does the work with the kids. And then I learned, like, how to be patient with, like, students with developmental cognitive disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, and specific learning disabilities. I learned, like, different ways on how to, like, work with them. And then this is a token chart, and this is used for reinforcing behavior. And so what they get to do is they get to pick a prize. It could either be playing with a toy or a candy. And then once they earn 5 tokens, they get to play with the prize. So if they keep their hands to themselves, they are listening, nice sitting, and not, like, all over the place, she gives them a token for every time they do something good, and then she'll get a prize. And then in the beginning, so, like, what I did is I kind of had a routine. And so I first went to the DCD room, and we usually went in the back and we played with toys, and we just, like, listened to, like, what they were saying and tried to make them talk. And then it was usually with the same kids, and we usually just played games a lot. We just always played games, and, like, we, like, just made sure that they were, like, speaking, like, their sounds. And then another thing that she likes to do is, like, they get to pick a group of, like, peers that they want to play with, and this helps them with, like, their communication skills and their social skills, and they mainly listen to their friends more than they listen to Renee. So, like, Renee will, like, tell their friends, like, what to tell, like, them to do. And, like, we karaoke'd, and, like, they played with, like, a track and with cars and stuff like that, and they just like to play. But they'll talk at, like, the same time. And so for my projects, one of them, because she only does, like, 10 minutes with each kid. With the DCD room, they'd usually do 20 minutes. But with Cassidy and Hannah, I decided to do, like, vocab bingo. And, like, this worked on their communication skills because she's trying to help them, like, ask questions, be more involved. And so this is, like, it was just, like, regular bingo, but it was, like, simple because they don't, like, it'll say, like, hair dryer or something, and, like, it's just regular, like, bingo basically, but to get them to communicate more. And then, so what I would do is I would ask a question about the specific word that I said, and then it was their turn to ask each other questions, and then they can find it on their, like, board. And they picked holiday and seasons. And then for Desiree, she is working on her L and TH sounds, and she's more advanced, so she can, like, make a sentence with those sounds. And so what we used is the Arctic Chipper Chat. And so what I did is I said the word, then she has to make a sentence, and then she just finds it on the board, and she picks it up, like, with this magnetic wand. And, like, with this, like, game, there's so many sounds, like, you could use. Like, this is how many, like, different sounds kids can work on. And they basically just picked it up with, like, this magnetic thing, which they kept on getting distracted with, because, you know, it's fun, I guess. So that's another thing that I did. And then for Augustine, I also did the same thing. but he's working on his F, V, and L sounds. And he's not as advanced, so I just had him say the word and then find it on the board. And then when he was done, he picked it up with that magnetic wand. And then for Riley, we worked on his pronouns because he has a hard time with his him and her and he and she. So for example, he will say her went to the park when it should be she went to the park. So all I did was like showed them with the picture, and then they have to say like what is happening in the picture to make sure that he can recognize if it's a male or a female in like him and her, he, she. And then he just found it on the bingo card. And so like to help him, because he does have a really hard time with that, I just gave him like a sheet to like look on, because he does have a hard time with that. And that's it.
Okay, how many doing quick